Hello everyone, and welcome to The Appetizer. That's right, I'm already doing a spin-off of The Film Feast. The Appetizer is a weekly review of trailers, trailer analyses, as I said in the first episode. Every week I will be looking at the biggest trailers, and this episode should come out every Wednesday. That is my goal. Obviously I can't make that goal every week because some weeks there aren't going to be any good trailers coming out. If that is the case, I will just include a little link in the D-box where I say, hey, this is my trailer of the week. There weren't enough trailers to talk about in the main video, so this is it. The Appetizer is its own thing. It's its own beast, if you will. I will be talking about the big trailers, the blockbusters, the Oscar contenders, X, Y, and Z. You know, if it's big enough to talk about, I will talk about it. This week is particularly jam-packed with the Super Bowl teasers that came out, and there were a lot. I'm not going to talk about them all in this video, but I will be talking about the select few that I particularly enjoyed, found worthy of talking about in any capacity. But I will also include my trailer of the week. There is a trailer this week that I do love, and I will show it to you. I also plan on just making this kind of different. I'm going to try and work around YouTube's terms and conditions a little bit by showing you screen captures of the trailer instead of, you know, full-size clips from the trailer, because that's definitely a no-no. I want to respect all parties involved and just try and make it visually appeasing as well, because I know that this isn't what you want to see for minutes on end. First trailer that I want to get out of the way is The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Now, it had one teaser come out a few days before the big game, and then it had one teaser show during the big game, which eventually led people to the 3-minute sizzle reel that Sony's calling it a sizzle reel, and it's because it's like 3 minutes long and longer than a normal trailer, way longer than a teaser, so they call it a sizzle reel. And they show pretty much extended clips from the trailer that give audiences a better idea of kind of what's happening between the antagonist and the protagonist and his love interest and, you know, so on and so forth. I will briefly mention that I didn't like the first Amazing Spider-Man. I thought, amongst other things, it just lacked heart. Now, the trailer starts off with a little bit of humor, which is definitely not uncommon for the Spider-Man franchise, but that was one point of contention that I had for the first movie, was that Peter had kind of an overwhelming sense of, I don't want to use the word douche, there was just too much snark going on, and I don't know, maybe it comes off better in the comics, better off on page, but in the movie, it just seemed really unnecessary. And there's definitely that in this movie as well, kind of emboldened, I guess would be the right word. I mean, I'm not going to say that Tobey Maguire was the perfect Peter Parker / Spider-Man, but I will say that I'll just watch the movie, the Sam Raimi trilogy, any day before I watch The Amazing Spider-Man again. I'll go see this movie though, you know, I'm a Spider-Man fan, so I'm gonna go support the franchise as a whole. Hiring Mark Webb I thought was a pretty cool idea, but I don't know if he handles the action all that well. But in this trailer, the action looks good. The action looks great. He's doing a lot of really cool camera moves. He's making the shots look very comic booky. A lot of the scenes look like they're literally jumping off the page, and the costume is a big part of that. Spider-Man looks great this time around. The villains still kind of look dumb, but you know, I've never really hated the way that they were envisioned for movie purposes, although the Lizard's design was pretty awful. Just straight up awful. There's a significant part in the trailer where we see Electro getting his powers, and it's a very cool moment. It's very classic comic booky, you know, it shows him, you know, connecting the electrical coupling or whatever, and then he falls into this vat of eels, and that's how he gets his power. That's cool. Jamie Foxx looks like he's doing a pretty good job in the role, but there's gotta be a hook. There's gotta be something that makes him more than just a villain. And there's this weird thing happening in the trailer where they're doing this kind of rap sort of thing. I don't want to call it a rap. It's like he's like kind of spitting lines like in this weird like slithery whisper, And it's very strange. It sounds kind of like a Danny Elfman track out of The Nightmare Before Christmas in a weird way, which is funny because Danny Elfman did the score for the first 3 Sam Raimi Spider-Mans. Electro does an attack on Times Square, and it's this big, grand sequence. I thought it was going to be the final sequence of the movie when I first saw the Comic-Con footage, but now, looking at it again, I think it's going to be the big middle part of the movie where Peter has this big kind of... It's starting to hit its stride, and Peter has to make like a decision. Oh, blah, 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 I don't know. I don't even know what it's going to be, but I think Peter's going to have to make this grand decision of how he does something. It just seems like one of those moments where Times Square gets destroyed because of Spider-Man making a mistake or something like that. I don't know exactly, but if you watch the trailer, you might understand what I'm talking about. And that is when we get into more of the bigger picture. We see more Harry Osborn from a lot of clips used from the first trailer are shown. I'm still not exactly taken with Dane DeHaan in the role of Harry, but we'll see how it goes. It's just one of those things where it's a trailer. You can't get that good of a vibe from it. You just have to go and watch the movie to get your answer. Harry Osborn is going to be a big part of kind of leading the Sinister Six, at least I'm assuming. I don't know exactly what the comics are all about whenever it comes to that antagonist storyline. That's the big picture that they're going for. We've known this for months now, that Sony is pulling together the Sinister Six with the writer think tank, and that's what's gonna happen. You know, we're gonna get the final sequence of this movie is going to be 3 villains. The Green Goblin, Electro, and the Rhino, played by Paul Giamatti. I could be wrong on that. The Rhino part could just be at the beginning. There is that part where he gets into the big mechanized Rhino Transformer-looking thing, and that might be in the end, but it also could be at the beginning. I don't know. It would be weird. I think that Oscorp is going to be like, hey, Rhino, you should get in this big fucking thing that we built. Because also midway through the trailer, we see a big spoilery shot of what I would assume is Norman Osborn walking down this corridor, and you see the Vulture's wings, and then there's Doc Ock's, mechanized legs, and that, to me, just ruined everything. I just saw that, and I was like, ooh, no. Every villain is lazily written, which is a SpongeBob joke. And that's the thing, is just, I don't get it. I don't get this whole this whole idea of breaking down the most popular villains in Spider-Man's history to Oscorp is behind everything. They're the evil business corporation, big money dollars that fund evil things happening. It just doesn't sit with me well. It doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, it makes sense, but in a really simplistic way. I like the idea that, all these villains are coming from a place of their own madness being created. I understand that in Spider-Man 2, Doc Ock basically was created by Oscorp, but I think that they just had a hand in it. They weren't the sole responsible reason. It wasn't like Doc Ock was working in Oscorp when he had his accident. It was his own invention, his own creation. It just happened to be funded by Oscorp. It's not like Oscorp knows that they're funding this evil thing that's happening. What does Oscorp gain from killing Spider-Man? I don't know if you guys are getting my brainwave on this one. It's silly to me. You guys might be thinking something completely different. Good things I still take away from this trailer. Good action. The costume still looks great. I think Mark Webb is a little bit more comfortable this time around. Same with Andrew Garfield, Emma Stone, who I still think is like one of the most important parts of this whole franchise. She is great. And hopefully Spider-Man 2 will be great. I'm still not sure, because my current prediction is it'll be better, but it'll still be pretty bad. The Amazing Spider-Man 2 comes out on May 2nd, 2014. Okay, next one is Captain America, the Winter Soldier. Now, talk to me for, 30 seconds and you'll know that I loved the first trailer for Captain America, the Winter Soldier. Now, the second trailer, just kidding, it's awesome, I loved it. Now, for the most part, I haven't been in love with Marvel Phase 2, but I think that might change with Captain America 2. Where's some wood? I need to knock on some wood. I think we have good things to expect with the Winter Soldier. Getting into the nitty-gritty, the trailer starts off with a little bit of exposition about the Winter Soldier. What's his deal? Oh, he's got a metal arm. He's fast, he's super strong. We quickly recap that Captain is a part of S.H.I.E.L.D. and that he wants to protect people, you know, uphold justice, that whole shtick. And then it cuts to Robert Redford talking about how that sort of thing makes enemies, being, you know, a new form of justice in America, tearing down, you know, the old ways. The action in Captain America 2 just looks well composed. The part where Captain's on the motorcycle and the jet pulls around with its Gatling gun, and then he just throws his shield and it takes it down. I don't care who you are. That was a ticket-selling moment. And then boom, just cuts to Black Widow with the grappling hook swinging down below the overpass and then just cutting into a full sprint. Are you kidding me? That's great! There are also some great moments with Anthony Mackie playing the Falcon. The action with him looks really exciting. The wing look that they go for, I like it. I approve. Not that you care for my approval, but I approve. Nick Fury looks like he has a pretty big role in this movie. I can't say that Nick Fury is my favorite part about the whole Avengers piece as a, you know, as a whole, but giving him more to do is, you know, I can't complain. As long as the movie doesn't feel overstuffed, which I don't think it will be. If anything, I don't think they're going to give Robert Redford much to do, aside from stand in a room and talk. Although he might surprise us and give us a good action scene. That'd be pretty cool. Captain America: The Winter Soldier comes out April 4th, 2014. I'll be there April 3rd at one of those cool 8 p.m. showings. I can't wait! I hope you can't wait either. And now for our third and final trailer from the Super Bowl, Transformers: Age of Extinction. Now, I talked about this in a little bit of length in the first episode of the Film Feast, but we finally have the trailer. It actually, the trailer came out before my episode came out, so that was a little embarrassing. But now I can talk about the trailer, and admittedly, I think it's a crowd pleaser. I think that a lot of what people have been waiting for the past 3 Transformers movies is finally here in the 4th one, Age of Extinction. At face value, everything is just a little different. The design of every Autobot is just slightly switched up, and I think that's for the better. Because for a while, people were thinking that this movie was a reboot, which Michael Bay has said strictly is not a reboot. It is another sequel. Optimus Prime has a slightly new look. Megatron, also slightly different. I don't know who that was who turned into a big gun, but if it's anything like the original show, it was Megatron turning into a big gun, shooting Optimus Prime through the fucking shoulder. We see a little bit of Mark Wahlberg playing a father, apparently. And, you know, he steps up to the action. That's not a very difficult thing for him to do. You know, with lines like, "Stay behind me!" You know, you can't really gain pretty much anything from that. So, here's hoping that Mark Wahlberg does more than just yell like an action hero. But, you know, it's Michael Bay, so probably not. And no one's ever really gone to see these movies for the humans anyway, so I don't know why you'd start now. Obviously, the action looks over the top as per usual. There's a robot who has 2 parachutes shooting out of his back with twin submachine guns, shooting robots on either side of him in midair in slow motion. I'm surprised that hasn't been in one of these movies yet, but I'm happy it's here now. You see a little bit of Bumblebee as well. I'm sort of surprised he's back since Shia LaBeouf's Sam Witwicky is no longer in the picture, but also pretty happy that he's around still. I thought Bumblebee was a very interesting inclusion to the cast of Autobots. And of course, there's the money shot, Optimus Prime riding Grimlock, the Tyrannosaurus Rex Transformer, with a sword. Awesome! But you know, that's it. That's Transformers: Age of Extinction. Comes out July 27th. Oh yeah, one more thing. The trailer of the week. This week is David Michôd's The Rover. Now, before you start IMDbing, David Michôd directed the fantastic 2010 Australian film Animal Kingdom. This is my favorite film from 2010, and it has a great cast. It's got Ben Mendelsohn, Joel Edgerton, Guy Pearce, and Jackie Weaver in one of her breakout roles. I really can't recommend this film enough. If you can go out and find it somewhere, do it, watch it. It is great. The Rover takes place 10 years after the collapse of society. The film stars Guy Pearce as a man who basically takes on a gang to get back his last possession. What is that possession exactly? I don't know. How does it involve Robert Pattinson? I don't know. But the film still looks awesome to me. I don't know any other way to describe it. Just go watch it. I'm going to put a link down in the D box. Check it out and enjoy. That is it for this week's episode of The Appetizer. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you want to see more of it because I enjoy doing it. Every week, or almost every week, I'll be bringing you new trailers because I really want to see what you guys are most excited about, and I'll show you what I'm most excited about. Thank you for watching The Appetizer.